Okay, welcome. Thanks for coming out today. Really, really good win against Nevada, Las Vegas, UNLV, excuse me. And I was just talking to some of our coaches a little bit about our players, and I know I went on and about it Saturday. I'm gonna do it today. Just the resiliency that they continue to show, their competitiveness. They refuse to even flinch and to come close to flinching, and it's adversity in a major way in back-to-back years. At this point last year we were 5, all the season-ending injuries on offense, and now we're 6 or 7 or whatever that number is now, including onto our 4th quarterback. It's just unbelievable to me to see them just not flinch, and the leadership by the captains, and then the thing that goes unnoticed but not by me is just the job that our assistant coaches have done. And I'm just proud of what they've done, and continue to hold this thing together, and we continue to play at a high level and be very, very competitive. And we have no other choice, so we will do it each and every week. And it's fun. You kind of roll your sleeves up and you start scheming, and you start doing everything that you can do just to find a way to win. And every win is it's tough to win at this level. It really, really is. And each and every week, anybody, I truly believe this, can beat anybody, and you have to bring your best game every week, and whoever's healthy is going to get on the plane and go help us hopefully find a way to play very well and be very competitive against Hawaii. But I was really proud of the job Kent Myers did in relief of Craig when Craig was injured. Craig, I thought, had a very, very solid game up into that point, and threw 3 touchdowns, had no picks. Really had a chance to throw 5. He chose not to. That's the way I put it this morning with him. But a really good performance, and I thought Kent came in and did a very good job considering the circumstances and how many reps he's had and all that kind of stuff. But really, really awesome performance, championship level performance by our defense. What they did against the rushing game and then sacking the quarterback and pressuring him was a very, very good performance. And then I thought special teams, quite honestly, was our best overall performance of the year. Field goal team, congrats to Nick Diaz, Mountain West Special Teams Player of the Week. That unit did a very good job, and then we blocked 2. An extra point and a field goal, which I thought the blocked field goal by Michael Conquil was at a very critical point in the game, and it was right after the turnover and sudden change for the defense, and they came out and stopped them and then blocked a field goal. That was big right there before the turn of the 4th quarter, I think. Is that right? So that's a little bit of the recap. As I look ahead, and we already started yesterday very early. Looking ahead at Hawaii, first of all, the thing that I've already been asked, and it's true. It's it's probably the place that this whole thing turned for everybody in this program, and to go back there and to play will bring back good memories. It won't help us one bit this year to win this game, but it absolutely was the place that I think that this program turned at halftime of that game, and I think this program's been on a roll ever since. And now we got to go back and find a way to win the first game on the road against a conference opponent. And I told our captains this morning, our captains meeting, you want to have a special year, you got to win on the road in the league. We did that last year pretty consistently, and so we have to do that this year. We're 0-1, on the road in conference play, and we need to find that road win for us. So that's what we have coming up. A defense obviously led by Kevin Clune, good friend, former assistant here. He and I coached here for 3 years together. And to see what he's done with that defense is really nothing short of honestly remarkable when you look at stats and where they came from last year to where they are right now. But to be honest with you, the thing that sticks out to me as a coach is something that you can't read right there in that release. And those guys play with their hair on fire. They play hard. They chase the football. They play with tremendous effort. And I know that that's something that he's instilled in them and demanded out of them. And I think it's very, very evident when you flip on the tape. Everybody in our building can see that, including our players. So they play at a different they look different, they play different, and they react to the football different than they did last year. And so it's evident to see that he's made a very big impact on that defense. So it'll be a major challenge for us to go in there and find a way to move the football and to score points, but it's something we're looking forward to, and we'll give it our best effort on Saturday night. So with that, I'll go ahead and open it up for any and all questions. Don't know yet. Yeah, he's got an MRI. He's actually doing it right now, Bob. So know a little bit more. It's not. He's out this week, and it could be sometime. I just don't. I don't think it's fair to the kid family to comment on it until for sure. And so he's doing it right now. I'll know more later today or tomorrow morning.
What about
Nick Vigil? Yeah, it's. I don't know. We'll see how he is by the end of the week. He's tweaked up right now, and I would say probably he's a possibility Saturday. We'll see how he is. He won't practice much today or tomorrow, so we'll see how it comes. If it's major, he won't play. If it's minor, he will, because he's a tough kid.
Is it a strain?
Yeah, it's a muscle.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're talking about a guy who's never pointed that chart and seen him start like Myers. At what point in Tennessee start getting more? Just last week, he started working more with the first unit.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I'm laughing just because I've never seen it before. When you're the number 4 quarterback, you get absolutely none. When you're the number 3 quarterback, you get absolutely none. When you're the number 2 quarterback, you get just a little bit. And that's what he got last week was a little bit. And I think he played 25 snaps in the game. He didn't have much more than that during the week. So he did, but relatively speaking, we had to get Craig Harrison ready to play, which was a guy that didn't have very many either till the week before. And so it's been it's not like these guys had a tremendous amount of reps that you're drawing back from. Craig did, because he'd had spring ball reps and training camp reps and the last 3 springs. That's a different deal. Kent didn't have spring ball. He had some in training camp, but he had 3 quarterbacks ahead of him. Damian Hobbs, we gave Damian Hobbs, even though he was ineligible, we gave him reps during training camp to see where he was at and what he could do a little bit. And so we had Kent Myers going, DJ Nell. I mean, we had a lot of quarterbacks in training camp, so a whole lot of reps to go around. And you were getting Chucky Keaton back to be a full-time starter who had missed, spring ball and half the year last year. So it's a tough position to get a lot of extended reps for a young kid in the program. Kent just didn't have very many.
So Hobbs got more reps than.
No, I don't know if he got more. No.
Highlights how crazy it is for you guys.
Yeah, I mean, he had a few, but I mean, I wouldn't say he had more than Kent by any means.
So now you have to get DJ Nelson some reps this week too.
Yeah. He's the backup.
Even though it was a 3 and out for Myers when he came in, do you think that helped him?
There's no question it helped him. Absolutely, it helped him. Absolutely. And, we had made that decision earlier in the week. If he had a good week of practice and felt good, and we were going to try to get him a series, it's hard to put you can't pinpoint it. And want to do it at the end of the first quarter, beginning of the second quarter, somewhere in there once Craig had gone. No matter whether Craig had performed really, really well or maybe not as well as he wanted to. And he knew it. He was good with it. And Kent knew it. And we confirmed it with him again on Thursday and Friday and Saturday morning. And so that plan had already been made. And just because I knew, we had 6 games left plus 7 and a possible 8th. So just playing the odds.
So what quarterbacks get on the plane this week?
Kent Myers will. DJ Nelson will. And, I don't know after that. Probably going to take Chucky so he can help mentor those young puppies. I don't know about Craig and Darryl just because of their injuries right now. So not very many.
What is it you liked when you saw Myers to recruit him, and what can you tell us more about him at this point?
First of all, I liked his dual threat ability. I thought he was mobile. He obviously did some things that I thought were going to be conducive to what we did on offense, did some things well. He throws the ball on the run very, very well. He's actually a better pocket passer today than I really thought he was coming out of high school. I'm not knocking him in high school. I just think he throws the ball better from the pocket. Quick game, drop back game, deeper routes and stuff like that. I think he does it a little bit better than I thought he did coming out of high school. He's still got dual threat ability. The bottom line is he just hasn't had very many practice reps, and I don't need to tell you he doesn't have very many game reps. Y'all already know that. But it's time in the system, and it's seeing a signal and calling a signal and the protections and doing everything that we want to do from the quarterback standpoint. So it's just it'll take time, and as long as he takes care of the football, he's stingy with the ball, he's smart with his decisions, he doesn't have to win the game. He's just got to not lose it. You know, he just has to distribute the ball, do what we need to do. We need to find ways to run it. Our wideouts got to play really, really, really good. Play championship defense. Keep playing good on teams. Plan hadn't changed. Sound like a broken record. The plan has not changed, and it will not change. It can't change. So there's no magic plans out there for a 4-string quarterback.
Is the running game, I mean, Nick Vigil made a big part of that early in the game to get you yardage. He didn't do it as much later, then obviously got hurt and stuff. But how does that affect your running game plans with him probably not being able to do that? Even if he's ready to play, you'd probably rather him be on defense than offense or whatever.
It's your observation.
Well, but, you know, how much does it change the running game without him?
Well, I'm still the head coach. If he's healthy, I may put him on offense and tell Coach Lorig to go find him another linebacker. LT and Torrey Green and those boys can play. Baldo, they can't play running back though. I mean, LT's trying, but he's not gonna succeed with that. And we all of a sudden got a lot of two-way players in this building. You know how many high school highlight tapes I've been brought to me in the last week. I mean, these guys are like, Coach, check my. You don't bring tapes anymore, Craig. By the way, Coach, check my YouTube out. Coach, go on to Huddle and check my. Oh yeah, I'll go check my Huddle link, Coach. I'll send you my link. You know, all of a sudden now everybody's a two-way player in high school. So we celebrate it though, in case any recruits are out there listening.
Well, Ronald Butler was a really good quarterback.
He threw a good pass at Wake Forest
the other day. What the heck happened on that? And he's got a guy wide open down. Did he just not see him? Did he say or what?
No, it
On the fake.
didn't work out so good, did it? That's my fault. That fake was my fault. So he didn't see him, and I took that one. That's squarely on me. Trying to manufacture some points and take a chance, and wasn't a good play call, wasn't a good scheme. So, but he hit it against Wake Forest. It's a good pass.
How did Garrett's surgery go? Can we get him kind of update?
Yeah, I think it went well. I was told it went well. You know, it was a little bit more than we thought. So he's out for the year. So won't be back. Hawaii's best offensive player. You know, I'm going to tell you I think the receiving core is a strength of theirs. I'm going to tell you what they really do. And it's Monday. I mean, we've only been on to Hawaii really for about 24 hours since noon or so yesterday, and most of my time spent is a little bit more on the other side early in the week looking at their defense. But the short part that I have seen, you know, first of all, Ikaika's throwing the ball pretty well, it looks like to me, in the last little bit that he's played. He's been pretty accurate. But those receivers are making some plays. The other thing that they do, good night, they put their hat on people. They will block their tails off going into the box, and I'm going to tell you, there were some nice blocks. That's the first thing that sticks out to me is seeing them, seeing the receivers. But you know, as far as pinpointing it, Bob, I need another day or two, and probably Orlando knows that a little bit better than I do right now.
They are more of it looks like trying to be a running offense more than Hawaii's been over the years, a little bit
Yeah, and I think Coach Child does a good job of being pretty balanced with that, whether they're in 12 or they're in 21 or they're in 11, and they're still doing some of the things that they like to do conceptually and all that. But I don't think it's fair to compare them to the years past, because in the years past it's been a whole lot more 10 personnel and empty and 4 wides, and that was a whole nother system and coaches and all that. But so when you say years past, I don't think that that's a fair comparison.
When you look then at their defense with Coach Clune, is it exactly like what you think Utah State's defense looks like?
It's pretty similar. A lot of similarities. Yeah, I mean, we knew it. That's what he got hired to do, and he's done a really, really good job. They're pressuring. I think they're going to pressure us as soon as we land. They're going to be blitzing from everywhere, and it's what we expect. We got to prepare for that, and we'll be ready for it.
I'm just curious if by Nassman got called back. Did they tell you he signaled a fair catch on that?
He did. No, he signaled a get out of the way safe signal, and you can't do that and advance it. But he did not signal a fair catch. But it was the other. Can't do that. It's not a penalty, but it's a dead ball.
How about the play of the D-line? They ranked 3rd in sacks in the nation now, 4th in rushing day. They've really
well, and not just the D-line, but you got to add the linebackers into that, because Nick Vigil and Zach have been a big part of that, and also LT. But I think it all starts up front. The two that don't get the credit, because I think BJ is starting to get a little bit of credit, very deserved, deserved, and Jordan Nielsen. Those two guys get the credit, and they played very, very well. BJ had a really good game Saturday, a really good game. But the two that probably don't get the credit that they should is Elvis and Travis Seafelt. Those are the two guys that are playing at a very high level right now, and they're so many times taking up 2 blockers for Nick and Zach and LT to roam free and make the tackles. But I think those two guys have done a really nice job. And when we play some of the 4-down linemen, they're both in there at D tackle, and so they're to me kind of the unsung heroes a little bit. And Travis Seafelt's the one getting the push in a big, big way, and Jordan Nielsen on those 2 field goals that were blocked, and they're to me, they're the ones that are they're the down and dirty guys, and they've done a really good job.
When you play Hawaii, I mean, you mentioned Elvis, you mentioned Brian Sweet, they're going home. But you have a lot of guys, the Polynesians. This is really a huge game, because there's a lot of their relatives, friends, families. This is a big game for them.
Yeah, it is. It's a big game for them. There's a few coaches on our staff that it's a big game for, and we got family members over there, and I've got some family over there. So they're all big games. But yeah, there's some family connections. There's some cousins and all that stuff on both sides of the ball, and obviously we have a few players from Hawaii, not many, but a few, and there's some high school teammates and those kind of things, and so we'll have a good little contingent of Aggie fans over there, and that'll be a big challenge to go find a way to win. It's a hard place to play over there.
You mentioned Nick earlier. He's made 6 in a row since those 2 blocks. What have you seen from him down the stretch these last?
Just confidence, consistency. Those 2 things, biggest thing, because the consistency that comes through practice, and I think with practice habits and success in practice, and that you're consistent in practice, I think it leads to confidence. And you go out and you make them in a game. Why? Because you've done it all week, and then you do it again the next week, and then you do it again. And I think it's kind of like free throw shooting. I mean, it's confidence. It's hours and hours of practice, rhythm, technique, mindset, confidence. I think kicking field goals is very, very similar to that. And he's gotten into a really good routine, and he's been very, very consistent.
He had to clear his mind, obviously, from what he did earlier. I mean, that's not easy to do when you miss one to win a game or something like that, come back.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like Michael Jordan, the old Michael Jordan quote, and talks about how many game-winning shots he's hit, but how many he's missed, and having the confidence to come right back in yourself and your abilities and your technique, and trusting that technique, and come out and swing it through, for a kick analogy. with the same confidence and the same mindset that you had going into the one that you failed at. And so, those guys have to have a short memory. It's kind of like being a relief pitcher in baseball. You come in with the 2-run lead and nobody on, you give a solo shot, and you better find a way to get 3 outs. You better have a short memory, So I think kicker, I think playing corner is very similar. Relief pitcher in baseball, those all have some similarities. You're going to have some failures. Or hopefully it's not big plural, multiple. But you miss one or you get one blocked, you better find a way to bounce back. And kicking 6 in a row and what he's done it's been very good for our team, and we need it down the stretch. We'll probably need a field goal to win at some point in the next 5 weeks, and he'll make it. And I'll put him out there and have great confidence in him.
Brian's really looking forward to going to Hawaii.
You think?
What he meant to this program in his time here?
Brian Sweet is the glue of the secondary. Everything that kid's about has been first class. Great character kid. He's a graduate, team captain. I love Brian Sweet. Everything that he does for our defense, for our team, is in a first class manner. I go back and I think year and a half, almost 2 years ago, when I hired Coach Orlando, just the kid had been in the program for 3 years already, and just the way that he received Coach Orlando, kind of welcomed him in with open arms, helped teach him actually some of the stuff that we did on defense, and then to be very, very open-minded and be very, very coachable. He is a very moldable and coachable kid for being in this system for a long time. He does know a lot of stuff, but he doesn't act like he knows a lot of stuff. He's very, very coachable. T.O. coaches him really, really hard, and he just does a good job. And he's the leader back there, always a great attitude. So, he's excited to go back and play in his home state and, in front of his family and friends. And, of course, his parents are at quite a few of our home games and road games. You guys have seen them. But there'll be full contingent of that family there. That'd be awesome. It'd be so cool. Yeah.
Not too much on a team.
Yeah, it'll be a strain. Absolutely. 13-game season's a strain in 14 weeks. We play 14 in 15 weeks, which would mean the championship game, and then 15 in 18 weeks probably. Yeah, that's a big strain. In fact, the 2-week swing we got coming up here right now is less than 2 weeks. It's a major, major challenge. To have to make the turnaround that we're going to have to make a day early, and really arguably 2 days early with the travel coming back. But you know what? There's no sense in crying about it, and we're not going to. The schedule's been made. We've known it for, since spring, and so we've made plans, and we've got plans in place physically and mentally and everything that we need to try to do schematically in between 2 games and going into this game, and we'll see if it works. So, but make no mistake about it, this is about to be a 2-game, really, really tough stretch on us, especially given the circumstances right now.
Can you just talk a little bit more about the impact that Nick's injury may have? I mean, you're not only talking, like you said, about these strong linebackers, but somebody's just been integral to that run game too.
Yeah. Next man up. I mean, we're going to have to play with another running back if he doesn't play. We're going to have to play with another linebacker if he doesn't play. But, I think, there's a possibility he'll play. We'll just have to see how he is later in the week. But he's one of the best defenders in the Mountain West Conference. Not in this program, in the league. The guy could play for anybody in this league.
You mentioned that this was fun.
I can't believe they pay me to do it.
Is it just fun having your back up against the wall in some of these situations and just trying to figure what?
Why not? Nobody thinks you can do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nobody thinks we can do it. Didn't think we could do it When Chucky got hurt, Daryl got hurt, so we'll be the first team in the program in the nation to win games with 4 different quarterbacks. So maybe 5 at one point. I don't know. There's things, Leah, that you can control, and that's what we worry about. What's our attitude? What's my attitude with our staff, with our team, with my family? I can control that. What's our effort into scheming and game planning and putting the right people in the right positions? That's the things that I need to stress out and worry about, and who Hawaii is and what makes them go and what do we want to attack and what do we want to stay away from. And I can't worry about a schedule. I can't worry about going to Hawaii or going to Laramie. The plane will be ready for us. We'll get on it. Nobody thinks we can do it, whether it's media or fans or whoever it is. So we're going to keep trying to prove people wrong. And I don't know. I'd like it another way, but I've never seen anything like this. And so there's things that are so much out of our control. We're going to line up and play really, really hard. We're going to give great effort. And whoever's playing quarterback, running back, linebacker, it doesn't matter. They better play hard, and they need to worry about that logo they're representing. And as long as they do that, we'll be fine. The plan to win hadn't changed since I gave it to you last week and the week before with all these injuries. So we'll try to keep following that and play at a high level on defense, rally around another quarterback, and stay together. So I know that they're staying together right now. So.
Anything else for Coach Wells?
Thanks, Coach.
All right, Craig.
Well, I thought that we started off really well. We ran the ball very well. We threw the ball very well. I just thought that as an offense, Craig came in. He did really good. Our receivers made sure to get the ball. Running backs ran really hard down the field and stuff like that. I don't know. Any questions with that? But
Well, the test is winning your first one on the road against a tough. It's never easy going over there. So.
that's exactly right. It's going to be a hard game. We're going to have to play our best. We're going to have to definitely run the ball hard. We know their defensive coordinator, Coach Clune, very well. We kind of know what to expect from them. We're going to have to, bring our A game for us. So.
Starting another new quarterback this week. So what do you see from Kent and what he'll bring to the table for you guys?
I think Kent's a great player. He's a great quarterback. We saw him run a couple times, did really well, threw it well. I don't think we're going to skip a beat. We're excited to wrap our arms around him and play.
A lot of people made a big deal that the tight ends hadn't caught a pass in a couple of games in a row, and then finally you got a couple and a touchdown, and Wyatt got one. Was it just the way the schemes went in those games? I mean, or the kind of defense you were playing against? What was going on?
I think it was kind of the defenses we were playing against. They were locking down on us most of the time, and it kind of opened up for our receivers to get some good balls. So, from what I saw.
And obviously with a quarterbacking situation like it is, you're probably important in pass protection once in a while even too.
Yeah, definitely.
Too, and blocking for running game, trying to get those things going. A lot of people don't really realize the tight end can do all of that too.
Exactly. We're multi-dimensional on the offense. So, yeah, it was definitely half the time we're in blocking, having to protect our quarterback, and other times we got to run a route. So, it's definitely a hard job.
Speaking of blocking,
Mm-hmm.
what was the play? You took out 2 guys, it seemed like.
Oh, it was on the screen to Joe Hill.
Oh, the screen, yeah, the outside throw screen. Yeah, it was a good play. Joe ran really hard. He read my block really well and ended up being a really good play. So, yeah.
Did you kind of twist your ankle or something?
He just landed on it weird. It was fine. It just, yeah. Surprised you noticed that.
Was your second touchdown as memorable as the first, tripping over the motorcycle?
It was definitely memorable. I didn't have a guy within 10 yards of me, so it was pretty cool.
Looked like you bobbled it for a second.
Oh, man, I was so nervous. I knew I was wide open, so he threw it. He just lobbed it over to me, and I was like, "Yeah, just don't drop it." So, yeah, I caught it, though. That's all that matters. Yeah.
Coach mentioned that this was fun, all these having to deal with all the injuries
Yeah, I mean, it makes it exciting every week. So, we get to this week go with Kent Myers, and we'll practice with him, and I'm sure he'll do great. So.
How much does it mean to have maybe less than a year to prepare for a team? You guys are going over to Hawaii early, and Coach keeps talking about kind of the short weeks between that and the road game at Wyoming. Does it really make a big difference for you guys as players?
Wait, repeat that? Sorry.
Just the timing of this, having to go to Hawaii and go to Wyoming the following week, kind of with all the travel, really cuts down on the time you have to prepare here. Do you guys notice that as players?
Yeah, definitely. Like today, we're probably going to install a lot on the offense. You have to kind of cram down a lot more on everything. Yeah, when time's short and stuff. So. But.
This is what Tuesday for you.
Pretty much, it's like a Tuesday practice in a way. Yeah, we're definitely going to have to get a lot more done today than we usually do. So.
I mean, because you'll get off the plane and go practice over there on Thursday, but you want scouts, guys,
Exactly.
people, and it'll be a different type of deal and stuff. You'll have to already have known a lot of stuff.
Exactly. Yeah. You got to know everything by then. So. But.
Anything else for Jefferson?
Thanks, guys.
So the biggest thing that I saw from our UNLV game is that we started fast. We came out of the gate flying, and I think that was the biggest thing we saw at Colorado State is we did not start fast. But this week, that was something that we focused on, and that's what we got accomplished, as well as takeaways. I feel like that's been kind of a trademark of our defense that we've had. And we got back on that, and we got our takeaways. And outside of a couple explosive plays, I thought we played some very elite defense.
So how do you stop these explosive plays that seem to always rear their ugly heads at the wrong times and things?
I think if you watch the film, it's guys are in the right place at the right time in good position, and it just comes down to making a play on the ball, and sometimes, that one play with Richard, it was a tipped ball. Sometimes you make a great play on the ball and it tips right to the guy that you don't want it to go to. That went right past me. I ran right past it. And sometimes that just happens when you make a great play. But I think other than that, it's just getting up there and continuing to make plays on the ball. We're in the right spot.
What was it? 12 of 17 possessions, they were 3 and out. That's an amazing stat in a game relay in a lot of ways.
Right, and it's great for us because it keeps us fresh, and it keeps them from getting momentum and kind of. You saw the drives that they ended up scoring on. It was momentum. They kept rolling. We weren't really able to ever slow that momentum that they had. So I feel like those 3 and outs were very crucial. Got our offense back on the field and kept them from really ever getting going.
How do you feel about going up against? Obviously Hawaii is a big game for you, no matter what. But going up against Kevin Clune, who has been around some of your rooms and meetings and things like that, and playing a defense that's trying to play like you guys play.
Right. So honestly, there's a lot of guys at this level. A lot of guys are doing the same things. Coaches know what works and what doesn't work. So it is a unique challenge to go up against a coach that we've played against. But we've changed things that you have to change when you're facing a coach that has been in your building and knows your schemes.
Do you have any friends, former teammates on UA?
I have a few guys that I've played against and played with. As you know, Jeremy Higgins was here, but I believe he's injured. I haven't really talked to him in a little while, but all the guys that I really talked to are up here, and these are my guys.
So you're going home, but you're also a senior leader. What do you tell the team going over there for the first time with why about distractions and everything?
Right. So the biggest thing that I see with teams going to Hawaii is that travel and the time delay. It is an advantage for Hawaii. When they have to come here, it's a disadvantage for them. But when teams have to go to Hawaii, it is an advantage for them because of the time delay, the extra travel that you have to go to, and then you put your team up in Waikiki, which is one of the most beautiful places in the world. But I mean, just as we treat any other trip, it's a business trip, and we're there to win. We're not there to sightsee. We're there to win a football game. That's it. So.
So you made the trip in 2011?
I did not.
You didn't make
No, I was injured that year.
I know the
Yeah.
1 year, so you didn't make. The
I
trip
did.
or
I wasn't
anything
able
like
to make that trip.
I mean, because that was a benchmark win for this
Right.
program, and I mean, even you back here probably could feel what that has meant to the program ever since the last time we were there.
Right. So last time we were there, I feel like that was a major turning point for this program, and I mean, a lot of people in this program feel the same way. Since that game, this program has been different, and that's kind of what got the ball rolling. So I mean, at halftime, that game wasn't real pretty, but that's when we really started dealing with adversity and finding ways to cope with it and finding ways to win a football game. Sometimes it's not pretty, but you find a way to win.
Your play the last couple of years, we've noticed you, seems like towards the end of the year, you seem to be coming on stronger. I know last year you didn't practice a whole lot during the week because you were still battling that shoulder a little bit and stuff like that. But as the year goes on, is this a cerebral learning experience every year of stuff that makes you better towards the end of the year, do you think, Ryan?
Yeah, I'm not really sure exactly
You see
how
the
that
game
happens,
better,
but
or what?
I think that is something that I have noticed in my own play as well. And I mean, towards the end of the year, games become more important. But I mean, every game is extremely important. But I feel like, towards the end of the year, you find games that you really need to win, especially at the point that we are right now. Every game is a must-win situation. So I feel like it just becomes that much more important and requires me to focus that much more.
You guys just starting to feel a little jinxed with all these injuries?
No, I mean you can't really ever allow yourself to do that. I mean, football is a violent game. I mean, that could happen to anyone on any play at any time. So I mean, sometimes it's just what happens. But I mean, it's the next man up. The next guy gets his shot. And at this point and at this level, everyone is here for a reason, and everyone in this program has skills that we have deemed are necessary. I mean, we're not going to bring in people that we don't feel can help this program. So I mean, every back of it, every position is a good player, and we believe that, and our coaches are coaching that.
Could you play at Hawaii if you wanted? What were they offering, or were they looking at you as a football player? Or
Yeah, out of
did you make the decision to leave, or
right. So out of high school, I had an offer to University of Hawaii and an offer to Utah State. But after visiting both schools, I chose to stay, or not to stay, but to come up here, and it's been the best choice that I've ever made. So I'm really happy with it.
Does it seem like this year more teams have more talented receivers, or has it always been more?
I mean, definitely this year it really is seeming like that, especially the teams that we've gone up against. Especially in the Mountain West. I mean, you look at every team has, I mean, not only one good receiver, but they have extreme depth in their receiving core, and it's definitely a unique challenge every week for especially us at defensive back. Thanks, guys.